Thanks, Katie. Hey everyone, I'm Tom. I'm from the University of York, and I'm just going to talk a bit for just 5 minutes about developing AI-proof advanced level MCQ exam questions for third year students. And the reason why I want to talk about this is in a short flash talk is because it is a work in progress. So it's not a finished thing, it's something I'm still working on. And it's something that I'm keen to have people to talk to about in the collaboration cafe or afterwards via email if anyone is doing the same sorts of things. So that's kind of why I put it here. Third year assessments at York. Well, first of all, in first and second year, students have multiple choice questions, but they don't have multiple choice questions in third year. In the third year, and after that, in fourth year as well, students are assessed with 12 for their advanced modules, basically their main courses for the year, with two 1,200-word open book online essays which have been really good. And they were really great to use during COVID when students could do this stuff from home, and it was a very accessible format of assessment. But now there's, as we've heard about a lot today already, there's quite a bit of concern about students using AI to generate text for their exams. So the department at York decided and voted to move to scrap that assessment and for the not the current academic year, but for the next academic year, in like a year's time, I'm going to move to 60% MCQ, multiple choice, closed book, in-person exams for final year students. So they'll comprise 60% of their grade, and then 40% of their grade will be from a reflective essay, which would be they'll be able to write during term time. So it's not going to be a time thing. I'm not going to talk about the essay because I'm not organising that change, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about the MCQs because that's what I'm going to be involved in for the department. So I'm putting together some staff training, basically with support/training, depending on your perspective. 2 hour training session for all relevant teaching staff. So this is going to be compulsory for all staff who teach in the third year. There's also going to be an online supported resource with just some asynchronous information that staff can access before and after that training session. And then I'm also going to coordinate some peer feedback so that the staff can write their new assessments because I've basically got to, think about how to write a bunch of MCQ questions. I think it's like 15 or 20, something like that. And then they're going to share those with another member of staff who's going to give them some feedback about that. And I'm also going to be the staff point of contacts during this transition. So this is a sort of feedback and support package that we're putting together. So the focus of the training is going to be on mainly differentiating between second year and third year MCQ questions and trying to communicate that to staff, like what is the difference? So for simplicity, I'm just using Bloom's taxonomy to differentiate between different sorts of learning and cognitive functions. There are a bunch of other perfectly reasonable ways of approaching this as well, but I'm just using this for simplicity and because staff who are not on teaching and scholarship are often familiar with this, but may not be familiar with other sorts of approaches to this sort of thing. So currently, year two multiple choice questions mainly just focus on the more basic aspects of Bloom's taxonomy and learning, and they're really just surrounding remembering and understanding things. So remembering definitions, remembering concepts, understanding a sort of process or something like that. But we're not really assessing them on any higher order functions like applying their not existing knowledge to a new scenario, evaluating or synthesizing or analyzing. And that's what we really want to be doing for third final year students and their assessments to ensure that they've got that sort of knowledge. So we've got to make sure that staff are going to be pitching their questions right. So there's a variety of different ways you can do this. So you can use for these well, you can do this for any MCQ questions, but particularly for final year questions, going to be using graphs and tables from papers, getting them to evaluate and sort of apply their knowledge that they have about that. Also, you can use hypothetical scenarios and questions that tie together themes from various lessons. I'm also considering just using 3 possible answers. So instead of giving 4 possible answers that we usually do, at least in York for multiple choice questions, I've found no good evidence as to why we use 4 answers. And so I'm going to suggest that we just use 3 to save staff time of writing less answers and also to save student time for reading over less questions. This is just an example MCQ. But I'm also looking at my stopwatch and I see that I've got about 15 seconds to go. So as chair of the day, I'm going to stop myself and leave you to read this question for 10 seconds. And if you have any questions that you want to pick up on this in the collaboration cafe, that would be wonderful. Thank you.